morning, good afternoon, good evening. I was not surprised to hear MNANGAGWA saying Pasi Nezvigananda. But I was also equally not surprised to see how many people, have believed what he said, taken it as if it's settled. Now that he has said Pasi Nezvigananda is now settled, he is going to do away with Zvigananda. This is what has made Zimbabwe what we are. We are such a gullible, naive, and ignorant nation. We accept everything at face value without ever asking ourselves, have we had this one before? Of course we have heard MNANGAGWA say this before. In 2017, when he took over from Mugabe, MNANGAGWA promised that he would hold free, fair, and credible elections, that he would stamp out corruption. Within weeks of him taking over, he was already giving the twin cab pickup trucks to the chiefs, which is what had become the tradition. ZANU-PF bribing the chiefs, turning them into ZANU-PF political commissar in all but name. He had no intention of implementing even one token reform before the 2018 elections. As for corruption, we all agree that it got worse. In short, MNANGAGWA was just telling us what he knew we wanted to hear, without any intention whatsoever of implementing any of the things that he promised. The tragedy here is, of course, that people cheered as if they believed him. And make no mistake about it, many believed him. As a nation, we really have to wake up to the reality that we have got a ruling elite who have taken full advantage of the people's naivety and exploiting it to their own ends. And in this case, I'm talking of politicians on both sides of the political divide. ZANU-PF has taken advantage of the electorate, just as much as MDC-CCC have taken advantage of the electorate. If we are serious about ending this case of rigged elections and bad governance that has made Zimbabwe a failed state, then we have to wake up to the reality that we have got leaders who say one thing and do it the exact opposite. Mnangagwa is exploiting the weakness of Zimbabwean populace. The focus on, on wanting to hear, concentrating on what they want to hear, and without ever following up that it is done. How are we going to make any meaningful change? At the present moment, the ZANU-PF, I think it will be naive to think the ZANU-PF will implement any reforms to make sure we have got free, fair, and credible elections. The regime wants to stay in power, and at the present moment, there is nothing to pressure them to implement any reforms. Indeed, the present political system works in ZANU-PF's favor. ZANU-PF, after the 2008 to 2013 GNU, emerged with all its carte blanche powers to rig elections intact. Morgan Tsvangirai and his MDC friends had failed to implement even one token reform. But what ZANU-PF had learned during that GNU was that the days of the de facto one-party state were over. They needed to present a new Zimbabwe, a multi-party Zimbabwe. They also learned that as long as they allow the MDC, Morgan Tsvangirai and his friends, to win a few gravy train seats, the latter will participate in flawed elections, no matter how flawed the process gets, for their share of the spoils of power. This was acknowledged by David Coulthard in his book. And I've quoted this many times because it is true and it is relevant. In his book, David Coulthard admits that the electoral process is so flawed, so illegal, that the only logical step is to withdraw. But it doesn't withdraw because he says the MDCN, which he was a member of, was not going to withdraw unless they could be sure that the other faction, MDCT, will withdraw. And since neither side could trust the other one to withdraw, they all participated, going after the few gravy train seats on offer, knowing fully well that participating will only give ZANU-PF legitimacy. ZANU-PF had them cornered. ZANU-PF was exploiting their greed to make sure that they keep on participating. ZANU-PF will go ahead with the 2018 elections, 2028 elections, knowing fully well that the MDC guys will participate, no matter how flawed the process gets, out of greed. And the MDC leaders will participate and con the people to participate. In the 2023, Nelson Chamisa conned the people to participate, assuring them that he had plugged all the vote-rigging loopholes. The party was going to win the elections. And yet, he knew that wasn't true. He knew he had not plugged any vote-rigging loopholes. If anything at all, it emerged that he couldn't even do the simple task of deploying election agencies at all the polling stations. As one of the senior members in the party has since revealed, he had the money, the funding to deploy the election agencies, but chose not to. And he pocketed the difference, according to Wende. And yet he was the one who was clamoring that the party was going to win. And here he is assuring his supporters that the party would win.
Makorokoto Zimbabwe nokuti hakuna munhu anomira kana denga raronga plan. Denga raronga plan, denga harifo iri. Plan ya Mwari haifo iri. Ini ndatanga kugadzira cabinet. There is no way we are not going to form a new cabinet. There is no way we are not going to have a celebration. There is no way we are not going to have an inauguration. Let's start preparing for our inauguration. Let's start preparing for our celebration.
Zimbabweans participated in the 2023 elections because they believed Chamisa when he said he had plugged the vote-rigging loopholes. And I think MNANGAGWA is taking advantage of a similar situation here. He knew by saying Pasi Nezvigananda, people will believe him. And many do believe him. And yet, both of them are lying. And both of them have lied to the people many times in the past. And yet, the people still believe in these idiotic lies. That is our witness. Here is Chamisa being taken to task by ZBC journalists on the issue of lying.
Ende patakasangana na Trump akatibvunza naye Conman, mari yamuri kuda kuti nyika ifambe imari.
Serious questions were raised about your behaviour in Washington, D.C. You did see some senior people on Capitol Hill, some Congress people, but you also claimed that you'd seen Donald Trump. You claimed you had a conversation with him in which you said he asked you how much you needed to move the country forward. You told him $15 billion, and he said to you that he would provide the money if you won the election. That was not true, was it?
Sangana na Trump akatibvunza naye Conman.
It was not true that you'd seen Donald Trump and that Donald Trump indicated to you that he would provide, if you won the election, $15 billion.
All those statements were said by other people, not what I said.
Well, no, because there is a video which shows you at a rally in January back home in Zimbabwe saying that Donald Trump had pretty much promised you $15 billion. To be clear, because some people in Zimbabwe are still confused, you're now telling me you did not meet Donald Trump.
We did not.
I can say to you now with confidence that although MNANGAGWA is saying Pasi Nezvigananda, he doesn't mean it. He is the godfather of Zvigananda. These people get these contracts, these tenders, from his office. He is the master conman, telling us what we want to hear. He's not going to do anything about them. Just as much as he didn't do anything about ending corruption, just as much as he has done nothing to make sure elections are free, fair, and credible. MNANGAGWA needs Zvigananda. They are working for him. And it is the very foundation of the ZANU-PF dictatorship. Patronage. He cannot abandon it. He needs it. That is what is fueling ZANU-PF. We should stop believing everything we hear, particularly from the conmen. Food for thought. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.